When you open a business, you step on stage. Everything you say is spoken into a microphone. Everything you write is printed on a billboard. Everything you do is reported in the tabloids. It's never been easier to build an audience. But when they're all in their seats and they're waiting for you to say something, what message will you tell them? That message is your brand. So this week, I'm going to tell you how to build your brand. First, I'm going to tell you how to stop poisoning your brand. Even if you're, a pretty positive person, you need to listen to this because it's so easy to damage what you've built. Next, I'm going to tell you why clarity in your brand is so important. After that, I'm going to tell you how to tell whether your brand is effective or not, and then what to do to fix it. Then in our podcast, Certified Two-Brand Mentor Jay Williams will tell you what he learned at the StoryBrand seminar. And finally, at the end of this series, I'll recap the top takeaways so you know exactly what to do next according to where you are in your entrepreneurial journey, whether you're in the founder phase, the farmer phase, the tinker phase, or the thief phase. So first, how to stop poisoning your brand. One of my favorite quotes comes from Moritz Switzer, and he says, "It's better to remain silent at the risk of being thought a fool than to talk and remove all doubt of it." A current maxim in the business industry is be authentic. And that's great advice unless you're a jerk or you're thinking about sharing a strong opinion about politics or religion with your clients, or you can't spell very well. Your clients are paying for a professional service. Your online persona has to reinforce your professional value. A few weeks ago, a gym owner asked if her husband's social media posts were hurting their business. Now, this was a first for me, but obviously she was worried enough to ask, and for good reason. His personal Instagram feed was full of these kick 'em all out memes and, build the wall higher stuff. There was some pretty outrageous stuff in there. His political affiliation wasn't just polarized, it was extreme. Even a conservative would feel uncomfortable reading some of his stuff. But how would a client feel? How would they associate those beliefs with his business? Like it or not, every entrepreneur is a public figure. The easiest way to get likes on Facebook is to be likable. Now, I'm not recommending that you fake anything. I'm suggesting that you consider your audience before you make a post. Gary Vaynerchuk is one of these authenticity advocates. If you watch any of his videos from the last 5 years, you'll hear him use the F word like a comma. And that's because his audience is entrepreneurs now, and we all do that. But his audience used to be neighborhood people who wanted to buy wine from his dad's wine store. So if you watch Wine TV's first few years worth of episodes, you won't hear a single swear word from Gary Vaynerchuk. Go ahead and check. The first episode is actually linked below this video so that you can watch. Before all the Gary V hype, Vaynerchuk was selling wine to a local audience of higher income clients. He was mostly an owner-operator trying to turn a low-wage job into a profitable business. And he did. But he's not the same person selling the same product now. Even in his 1002nd episode, which I linked below, he shot in 2016, he uses the language of his wine audience, not the language he was using on stage for entrepreneurs at the same time. His language, his clothing, and his manner isn't evolving. It's shifting depending on who's in front of him. At 21:56 in the video, he says, "I day trade attention because attention is what matters, and who is paying attention is how you decide what message you give." The same messaging, language, clothing that attracts entrepreneurs is not what attracts the wine buyers. So when you watch Wine Library TV, you'll see him take his language down 10 notches. Many entrepreneurs want to believe that the hustle excludes them from social best practices. They huddle around with other founders because they believe that no one else understands them. They cultivate this outsider image, and in making themselves distinct from those they would serve, they're saying, "You're not like me." Take it from a guy who's made this mistake. Don't try to be cooler than your audience. Create the platform on which they can be the cool kids, not you. Think friends, not followers. Use the language, dress, and habits of those that you want to attract. By all means, be authentic. Show people who you really are and constantly strive to improve that person. Are you really your best client? When I opened my gym, I built it around what I liked. I chose bars that were great for powerlifting. I put in 2 GHRs in a reverse hyper machine. I hung chains on all my cages, and I put a chalk bowl in the middle of the floor. I slid a Metallica disc into the machine, and I hit repeat, and that was it. The first woman to walk in the door walked right back out again. I love my clients, but they're not like me. At least they're not much like the 28-year-old new gym owner me. Are your ideal clients just like you? Are your seed clients your age? Do they have 3 hours every day to work out? Are they passionate about improving their snatch? Do they earn what you earn? One of the biggest turning points in my business came when I realized that my best clients weren't much like me at all. They mostly earned more money than me. They cared more about clean bathrooms than I did. They wanted one-on-one attention often. They didn't really like Megadeth. They didn't want to think about programming. And they cared more about smiling than PRing their overhead squat 3-rep max. So what did that mean? It meant that I stopped projecting my budget onto their wallet. It meant that I took the skulls off my website. And I stopped using the F word on social media. And I replaced that blinking light bulb in the bathroom. It meant that I posted more pictures of people smiling. It meant that I cleaned the blood off my bars. True story. It meant that I stopped yelling at them for spilling chalk. And I stopped believing people just had to want it bad enough. I cleaned up my grammar because top earners don't confuse your with your. When I realized that I wasn't my own ideal client, I started getting cooler clients with smaller egos and fewer problems. Go figure. One of the best reasons to do the Seed Clients worksheet in our incubator program is to discover who your best clients really are and what they want. That makes coaching easy and owning a coaching business much easier.